If you took a holiday. I love that Madonna song. Hello, everybody. I'm just in a wonderful mood. It's autumn. I love this weather when the leaves turn yellow or orange, and it's just so colorful and it's so beautiful. And the air is cleaner, crisper. I went on my walk. The sun was out, and it just felt so amazing being out in nature. Welcome back to Anahita TV. Today I'm going to talk about Halloween and the spirit of October. Well, I was doing a little bit of a deep dive into my meditation, and what came up was the veil. The veil is really thin, two times a year, which is during autumn, during fall, around the whole month of October. And when the veil actually is at its thinnest, which means we are really close to the spiritual world on the 31st, on the last day of October. And that's why the whole Halloween celebration started. And let me tell you, this is not going to be a popular subject. If you love Halloween, I want to talk to you. One of the things a while back I stopped doing was wearing I never really resonated with the bloody stuff or the gory Halloween costumes. I never got into it. I was always something cutesy, a princess or Elvira or something something feminine and girly or or I would just do a wig or whatnot. But one of the things I want to talk about, the veil is thin. When the veil is thin, you must be in your natural energy. You have to live in joy. And that's when you're able to manifest. If you are in fear, that's the opposite of joy. So Halloween, what does that do? Kids knocking, it's very disruptive. You're in your room, you're in your house, kids knocking. I know it's a tradition, so I knew it would be unpopular when I started this video, but I'm just letting you know what the meaning behind nature. And on the day where you and I, all of us should be meditating, on the day we should be connecting to spirit, we are scaring each other. If someone is meditating and they may not even have candy. As a kid, I hated the people that didn't have candy. But now I'm starting to really not wanting to celebrate this season or this holiday. I feel like on that day, I just want to meditate. On that day, I want to go somewhere like in a cabin far away and be able to connect to the spirit world and achieve what I need. So spiritually, physically, the human body needs that day, on the Halloween day, on the 31st, to stay home, relax, and reset your goals. That's when everything is sleeping. That's on the day. The reason the veil is thin is because the flowers, the trees, everything goes into hibernation. And when they're hibernating, they're not vibrating creation. When they're not vibrating creation as a human being, you and I are way more connected to spirit. So that's how it works. That's what came to me in my meditation. And also what also came to me in my meditation, but that it happens twice a year. The other time is actually in the spring. And in the spring, we celebrate Easter. And that's a more positive celebration, is the rebirth of Christ. As an Iranian person, we celebrate Nowruz, which is Persian New Year. So yes, Persian New Year is celebrated on the first day of spring. That's another time where the veil is thin and we can connect. So the Persians had it right. They celebrate, they eat healthy foods during that day. We eat apples because apples make you beautiful. And yeah, there's a lot more to it. There is samanu, there is that we make. It's from wheat, not the ancient wheat, not this wheat that we have today. Ancient wheat is cooked for hours and hours, I believe like 8 to 10 hours. And there's what happens to it is it turns into this brown pudding, and you eat that. When you eat that, what happens is that it's what you would call it, and it just heals everything in your body. It's amazing. I'm sure we have a fall practice as well in the ancient Persia, and I need to do my research because we don't do all the holidays, unfortunately, that we did back then 5,000 years ago. You know, the history was completely changed. We're kind of bamboozled when it comes to history. They created the new history, uh, and kind of dismissed a lot of the good stuff from all cultures. You know, I love the Hebrew culture. They have a lot of amazing habits as well. You know, if they eat meat, they don't mix it with dairy. There's a lot of different food habits that were done with ancient cultures that I totally agree with, that help us. You know, that helped. That's why those people survived, or the Persians survived, or the Israelis survived, the Jewish community survived, or the Muslims. They don't eat pork, and a lot of the habits that their prophet Muhammad taught had to do with foods and how to kill the animal so that it's kosher. And, you know, that's the word it's used to in Hebrew, but it's the same practice they do in the I believe the Islamic people and the Jewish culture, they were cousins, or they're related. And it's sad what's happening down there, because honestly, that's, you know, they're related to each other ancestrally. And I pray and every day for them, and I do not wish for any side to be hurt or killed. And it's very sad, because I feel like where we live, we're asked to pick sides, and I don't see color, I'm sorry, when it comes to humanity. I only see unity. I'm not picking a side. And I think that's very dumb when people are asked to choose a side. There is no side. The side is who's benefiting. You know, that's the question you need to ask. Not the Israelis, not the Palestinians. Nobody's benefiting there. Nobody. You know, whoever is creating the war, they're benefiting. And you got to ask yourself why. And it's just so painful to see other people go through pain. Yeah, I guess we were talking about Halloween and spirit, and it's hard not to get into what's happening. And I'm human. I'm not gonna ignore what's happening. So now my heart is feeling heavy. Yeah, this is what it's supposed to do. You know, pain causes seeing suffering causes us pain, causes humanity pain. Getting emotional. I'm very empathic, so I feel other people's pain very deeply. And that's why there's a lot of movies that scare people or cause your emotions. When you are emotional, again, you push the pendulum. The pendulums are created by society, by governments, by religious groups, by people who basically want their way. So what happens is that the reason I'm spending all these tears is because of what's happening in the Middle East, and it's because I just don't like seeing humanity die, children, adults, anybody. It's just not right. And so when I'm concerned with that pendulum, it's hard for me to, as you saw it live in front of you, it was hard for me to remember that I was talking about spirituality and connection to spirit. So that's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to scare you. Everything that's happening overseas, or even if you are in the middle of it, if you're in you know, Russia or Ukraine, or where all the wars are happening in Congo or Israel and Palestine, you're not going to be able to connect to your spiritual level. Spirituality, how are you going to be able to connect spirituality when you are being bombed on, when your cousins just died, or your uncles, or your children, or your parents? How are you supposed to connect? You're not going to connect. And so one thing that I did do, I stopped watching TV 6 years ago. I only watch certain shows once in a blue moon, maybe once a month or so, when friends are, you know. I don't understand when people get together and they want to watch TV. I don't get that. I'd rather do something more active, more fun. I'd like to make dinner and eat together, play a game, or go on a walk. That's more attractive to me than staring at the tube. As you can see, my energy changed. It's low because of my thoughts about the Middle East, and it's hard to get out of. So this was a great demonstration, wonderful demo. We can be brought down to those levels when we're scared. So when you're going to Halloween scaring people, looking at ugly things about death and dying and blood and killing and murder and hands and feet hanging from the earth, that's just disgusting and stupid. I'm so sorry. And I may get I don't mean that you are, if you that those are your habits, but I just want you to see the point of view of a human life. A human life is very precious. So when you put a hand hanging out from the earth, you're celebrating chopping someone's arm or your own arm. That's ridiculous. If you think about it, Halloween is one of the most ridiculous holidays I've ever encountered. I wish we could turn the pendulum around and start focusing on love, focusing on joy, focusing on fearlessness, focusing when you are fearless, when you are confident. I'm going to push myself out of this bad mood. When you are confident, when you are fearless. I love Grant Cardone. He's a business guy. He's on YouTube also. He's very popular. I met him a while back. He's just a fireball. I love how I feel when I listen to him, because all he wants to do is create. When he did Undercover Boss, did you guys see that? He created something from nothing. He came into the place with $100 and an old truck, and he was able, and he talks about it. He's like, everything is made up. Everything is made up. Halloween is made up. Fear is made up. Don't be scared. The word, do you know in the Bible, it says, don't be afraid 363 times, which is the actual numbers of the earth. Something happened to the earth that made it 352 days of the year. I don't remember the science behind it, but it says that 363 times that in the Bible, don't be afraid. So one for every day. Every day, wake up and say, I am not afraid. I am joyful. I'm powerful. I am in my energy, my masculine, my feminine. I've honed it all. I have it all. I have spirit on my side. I have God on my side. I have my family on my side. Everybody loves me. Everybody adores me, and everybody wants me to succeed. Start thinking that way, and your life is going to get better. And on Halloween or around all of October, it doesn't have to be. If you still want to celebrate Halloween, go for it. I'm sure I'm going to be invited to a bunch of parties. You know, I don't want me to be a hypocrite, but sometimes, well, I always enjoy being around others. I do enjoy being around others. And throughout the month of October, meditate, connect to spirit. And that's my message. Thank you.